This is my absolute favorite guitar, my Fender Squier Telecaster. And yes, I said Squier. The best gear is the gear you love to play. Music should number one be fun. It definitely should not be about spending the maximum amount of money on an instrument just because of the name on the headstock. In no way am I saying you should never buy a high-end musical instrument. I've owned a bunch before in the past, I still own a bunch now, and I love each and every single one of them. But what I am saying is that we need to stop the gear shaming, especially for beginner musicians. Gear shaming has deterred many would-be musicians from following their passions and love for music. Not everyone has a bank account big enough to buy the instruments of their dreams, and that's okay. Lots of great music have been made on cheaper instruments, and guess what? No one cared, and most of us never even noticed. So in today's topic, I'd like to discuss cheap gear and why it doesn't even matter. Point number one. In today's world, almost all guitars, electric anyway, are made on CNC equipment. These machines are highly accurate, so it doesn't make a difference if the headstock says Gibson on it or Fender on it. They are all made on highly precision CNC machines. So as production goes on most of these electric guitars, they are all on the same playing field. Whether it's Gibson, whether it's Fender, whether it's Ibanez, Washburn. My second point is this. Some might say higher end guitars come with better tuners, electronics, pickups, and etc. And they would be correct in saying that. But my answer to that argument is there is nothing stopping you from modding out your less expensive guitar. In fact, it could save you a ton of money going this route. In addition to saving tons of money, you also get the choice of which tuners you want to put on your guitar and which pickups you want to put in your guitar. You have total control. And you can even save a bunch more money by learning how to do the installation yourself. There are a ton of great YouTube tutorials and a bunch of websites online that you can go and research on how to do it. It's definitely worth it. There's something to be said about working on your own equipment. It'll give you a much deeper appreciation for your instrument. And this brings me to my third point. Higher end guitars do come with a higher quality tone wood, but don't let that dissuade you from buying a budget-friendly guitar. Most of us, including myself, play with effects, whether it's distortion, reverb, chorus, you name it. So in my opinion, after all the effects have been added, the difference is very minimal. Most of your guitar's tone is going to come from the pickups and from your hands and how you play anyway. The most important thing when choosing a guitar by far is playability. You're going to want a guitar that feels great in your hands and is easy to play. One that you don't have to struggle to press down on the strings. And I would like to note that on the more expensive guitars, they usually do a setup at the factory before they ship them to you or they ship them directly to the store. And that's why when you pick up a more expensive guitar at the shop, it always feels better than the least expensive guitars, is because the setup has already been done before it even got there. But you can take that budget-friendly guitar and have a setup done to it where they set the action and the neck appropriately. And it's usually not that expensive to have that done either. And just like my point where I was talking about modifying the budget-friendly guitars, you can do the same thing here and save yourself a bunch of money by learning how to do your own setup. Having a setup done or doing a setup yourself is probably the most important thing that you're going to be able to do to make your budget-friendly guitar feel like a way more expensive guitar. And I definitely highly recommend that you learn how to do a setup yourself, as the setup on the guitar is actually very personal to the person playing it. A guitar tech is going to set up your guitar how they like to play guitar. But if you learn how to do it yourself, you can set your guitar up exactly to how you like to have it set up. Some people like a high action on their guitars, and some people like a super low action on their guitars. This is all going to be highly dependent on you. But with a little time and a little bit of effort, you can have your cheap guitar playing and feeling like $1,000,000. I'm not saying high-end guitars are bad and that you shouldn't buy them. I love high-end guitars. What I am saying though is you don't need to go broke to make great music. The most important thing is that you are having fun learning and creating great music. There's no fun spending huge amounts of money on a guitar just to end up with buyer's remorse because it didn't make you sound any better than you already are. Just remember, spending more money doesn't equal a better playing experience. So the key takeaways in this video are: number 1, get your guitar set up by a tech or learn how to do a setup yourself. Having a properly set up guitar is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Next, if you want a different tone out of your instrument, mod it up. Research all the pickups out there. Definitely the ones that are going to give you the tone that you want, and go have them installed. Or, like I said earlier, save yourself a bunch of money and learn how to install them yourself. In this day and age, there's nothing holding you back. There are so many options out there for you. You can make that $250 guitar sound and play like a guitar that costs thousands. Just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. So stop paying for a name on the headstock. It's definitely not as important as we like to think it is. I hope this video has helped you to realize that you don't need to break the bank to sound great. Most of your great sound is going to come from your setup, your pickups, and more importantly, from you. All right, everyone, this is Dale with 440club.com. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.